Like we all know, in worksheets, there are rows and columns. Rows are denoted by numbers starting from 1 and columns are denoted by alphabets starting from A. In this tutorial, we will learn about row and column objects of VBA. To start with, launch VBE by pressing Alt and F11 and let's insert a module. Click on the Insert tab and choose the Module option. If the code window is not visible, double-click on Module 1. Let's start a sub procedure. Type sub. Press the space bar. Let's give the sub procedure a name. Type example 2. Open parenthesis and close the parenthesis. To specify a row or column in VBA, we must know their respective index. Row index is the row number, while column index is the number corresponding to the letter starting with A as 1, B as 2, and so on. Once we know the row or column index, row is denoted as rows and in parenthesis row index. Similarly, column is denoted with columns followed by column index in parenthesis. If we do not specify worksheet before rows and columns, code will consider rows and columns of active worksheets. Let's write a code about rows and columns to understand it better. Go to Excel file and write some text in cell D5. Say classification. Note that word doesn't fit in column. Now, in this case, our row index is 5 because row number is 5 and column index is 4, as D is the fourth letter. Come back to VBE. Between lines, sub and end sub, type columns, open parenthesis, 4, close parenthesis, dot followed by autofit. Autofit is a property used with rows and columns and works similar to the autofit command in Excel. Now run the code. Click on the Run button and see the result. Column width of column D is increased so as to accommodate the word classification. Now insert a new line in sub procedure before end sub line. Click after autofit and press the Enter key. On new line, type rows, then open parenthesis, then 5, followed by close parenthesis. Then put a dot and then type delete. Delete method is used to delete rows or columns. When we run the code, row 5 will get deleted. Click on the Run button. This will delete the row 5. We can use .autofit method with rows and .delete method with columns as well. If we want to work with rows or columns of specific sheets, we will have to specify that sheet before rows and columns. Let's say we have to work with row 5 of sheet 2 and column 4 of sheet 3 instead of rows and columns of sheet 1. Our code will need two modifications. First, click before columns, that is LN2COL1 and type worksheets, open parenthesis, double inverted commas, sheet 3, close parenthesis followed by dot. Similarly, click before rows, type worksheets, sheet 2 followed by dot. Now type something in D, column of sheet 3, go to sheet 3, click on cell D5 and type classification. Click on sheet 2, click on cell D5 and type classification. Now let's run the code. Click on the Run button. Now in sheet 3, you can see the column width is increased to fit the word. And in sheet 2, we no longer have the word classification because row 5 was deleted. In this way, if we want to work in any other sheet other than sheet 1, we have to use the worksheets object. And we even saw how to use the delete and the autofit property. This concludes our tutorial on rows and columns.